Get ready to play. The LG G5 with modular design. The first phone built for fun.
Has anybody seen that already? No? Okay. So firstly, apologies that Jason won't be able to attend. He's writing balls or shooting cannons. He's very busy. So Chris, I know Chris actually asked if you could attend, but mate, he was too busy. Apologise. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Gino Cash. I'm the GM of LG Mobile. Absolutely pleasure to see you all here, and thank you very much all for your time. We're here obviously to launch the G5 device, but the first thing we need to do is briefly just talk about partnership. Partnership for us is very, very important. We've got three partners here. We have B&O, so I'm going to point them out, so I want you to put your hand up. We've got Julian, we have Larissa, and we have Kelly from B&O. B&O, as I'm sure you all are aware, a fantastic audio partner of ours. And we also have Qualcomm. So Alex is Director of ANZ for Qualcomm, and we use obviously their Snapdragon 820 processor. We have one other person here with us, Richard. You can put your hand up, that would be great. Sorry. Here we go. Richard is, probably some of you already know Richard. Richard's a veteran of the photography industry, about 30 years, is that right, Richard? Giving away your age here tonight. Yeah. So he'll be up on stage soon to speak about the fantastic features of the dual lens for G5. So for us, G5 is probably about three things. The fantastic design, which I'll go through in a moment, and the accessories, what we call friends, and last but certainly not least is the very, very unique camera, and each will touch on that. But for us, I guess, in 2016, we really needed to innovate. The G4 was a fantastic product, but in this kind of very stagnant mobile industry where a lot of copycat smartphones, we didn't really want to be one of those manufacturers, so we kind of went out on a bit of a limb, to be honest with you. This industry is very risk averse, as you can imagine. So we kind of really went out on a limb with the G5 design. So we come up with a modular design. Full metal modular design with a replaceable battery is an extremely difficult thing to do, as you can imagine. Still, people around the world want a replaceable battery, and they also want a unibody metal design. Trying to put those things together is extremely difficult, but we've been able to achieve it, we think, beautifully in the G5. I think for us, the modules is another, again, very innovative way of bringing a product to market. We have currently two modules. The idea around the modular design was a few things again, very much to differentiate us in the marketplace, but also we wanted to try to bring back fun into mobile phones. Again, mobile phones tend to be full metal, glass, they all tend to do very, very similar things, but I think with the two modules and more coming, we'll be able to kind of really take the kind of smartphone to the next level. With friends, I want to show you a quick video. Please sit back and relax. Hope you all enjoyed that. You'll be able to play with the majority of their friends up the back, even including the rolly bot. I'm sure you'll enjoy that very much. The next person I've got up is Richard. If you have a moment to join us, Richard, that would be great. I'll pass over to Richard to give you a bit of a first-hand experience around how we use the G5. Over to you, mate.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Richard Hurst. I'm a photographer. I've been shooting for around 30 years now. And LG called me up a couple of months ago and said, we've got a new phone we're launching. We think it's got some pretty revolutionary camera features. Would you like to have a look at it? And naturally I said yes. So for the last couple of weeks since I've had the phone, I've been wandering around the streets, around the harbour, around the beaches of Sydney, around the city, trying to look at it, I guess, through the eyes of a professional photographer, but also through the eyes of a standard phone user who's going to be out there capturing photos on their phone and sharing them on Facebook and Instagram, etc. So it's been an awesome experience, and I must admit, as I was wandering around, I was reflecting on how far things have come in photography. In 30 years, when I started, I had a little tiny darkroom at home that I made. Back then, there was likely to be one phone in a household. Nowadays, every single person in the household has a phone, and often they have more than one. Often they're sharing their photos, ad infinitum, whereas back then you'd go and develop your photos and maybe show them to a couple of friends. So it's just interesting to see how far the world has come. And interestingly, myself, even though I'm a professional photographer with all the high-end SLR gear, I've got a 1 and a 3-year-old, and 98% of the photos I've taken of them have been on my phone. And it's probably not surprising, but that's the piece of equipment that I have on me most often. So you don't want to miss those moments. So it's interesting. So to me, understanding what the technology is that's going into the phones and what you can do with that, more importantly, has been really interesting. So the other thing for me too is when I travel, with my family, I don't want to be carrying my heavy SLR gear and my tripods, etc. So having a phone like the G5 that's very versatile, that has things like a wide-angle lens, some of the other features I'm going to talk about today, it's just fantastic, because photography really is all about capturing the moment and not missing special moments. And so having a camera phone that is of this quality, even for someone like myself, is fantastic. So probably the most important feature, I think, or the thing that really excited me most, was the wide-angle camera. So it's the first mobile phone ever to have actually 2 lenses. So I've got a phone down the back there, and I can demonstrate more up close later on, but you can see it's actually got 2 physical lenses there. So by pressing a button, you can switch between standard mode and wide-angle mode. You can see here on the screen, just to demonstrate, what the normal human eye sees, what a normal phone would take, which is the image on the left, which is around 70 to 75 degrees. This wide angle is around 135 degrees, so a lot wider. I'll also explain, I think it's really important to understand that how that is different to panorama mode, because a lot of people are probably thinking, well, you've been able to shoot wide on mobile phones for a while now, what's so revolutionary about that? It is fundamentally different for a number of reasons, so I'll talk about that as well. So to me, there's three key benefits of a wide angle lens. The first one, which is most exciting to me, is the artistic, the way it enables more artistic sort of images. And even though I'm a photographer, so I'm thinking about that more maybe than others, I think what we're going to find is by the use of this wide angle lens, because people are sharing images on social media, they're going to want to be uploading, you know, really interesting new types of photos. And I think their friends may not realise why their photos are suddenly starting to look really good and dynamic and interesting and artistic, but the reason will be the wide angle lens. As a photographer, the wide angle lens is my go-to lens, because for me, having a normal sort of lens that just shoots and captures the scene is less interesting and less dynamic than having something like a wide angle lens or a big zoom, because it makes scenes look a lot more interesting. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So these are two examples, you know, and it's a bit hard to tell without seeing side by side what a normal lens would do, but these are both wide angle shots. You can see the one on the left that's actually Avalon Beach, and that's a typical sort of landscape image that you can do with a wide angle lens. You may not realise, but in that photo I'm actually standing right next to this little green bit in the foreground, which is actually just a tiny bit of grass, but in a photography, because of the wide angle lens, it makes it look a lot bigger, the background look a lot smaller, and you get much more a sense of dynamic, and your eye sort of travels through the image. So, and that's a really easy thing that anyone can do. So once you actually get a hold of the G5, I'd recommend you just wander around with the wide angle lens and look how interesting different scenes will look. It's not just about getting a bigger scene, which is a fantastic thing as well, but there's actually, it opens up a whole new world of what you can do artistically. These are just another couple of scenes. Unfortunately, when I went down to Bondi, I didn't get great light, so the photos are not necessarily award-winning because the light's not amazing, but it just goes to show you what you can do with the wide angle. So the scene here on the left, you probably can't see down the back. Because of the wide angle, you're able to capture, you know, the two old ladies sitting there in the foreground at icebergs all the way through to the sunrise. With a standard lens, you wouldn't even see those ladies and all the headland. So it just enables you to tell a bit more of a story as your eye travels through the image. Here, just getting down low in the surf of Bondi, again, you can get the waves breaking in and the headland of Bondi. Then I had a bit of a walk through QVB in the city. And so you can see there, you can get much more interesting and dynamic sort of photos. There's beautiful colours there. With the standard lens, you'd only probably get that middle level, so you wouldn't get that real sense of dynamic composition. And there again at Bondi is just putting the phone right in the grass to just bring you into the image a bit more. For me, the main benefit, because I teach photography as well to photographers, the main benefit of a wide angle lens really, it brings you into the shot. So instead of taking a photo of something, so instead of me holding here and taking a photo of the Harbour Bridge, I want to make it feel like you're sitting there with me. If you think about where we're sitting now, it's a beautiful environment, the sun's shining. How do you capture that in a simple 2D image? You need to bring people into the photo with you, and that's what a wide angle lens really lets you do. Again here, this just shows, you know, you get much more dynamic lines as well. Like I keep saying, that leading lines, that's what photography is all about. How do I bring you into the shot and create interesting patterns? So instead of just taking a photo of QVB, I'm sort of saying, come in here and look at this handrail and walk around here with me. This is just a standard wide angle lens as well. Again, without the wide angle, you'd probably just get the ferry and the Harbour Bridge, but you can see here the way the buildings and all the lines are leading your eye down to the Harbour Bridge there. So even for sort of touristy shots, it can make it a lot more interesting having the wide angle. And this just shows, again, a couple of people sitting in QVB. It shows the difference side by side. I've got some photos down the back there that also clearly show what the difference is between the wide and the narrow viewpoint. And this is the classic example too. You can see here on the left, that was taken with the standard lens, and then I just changed it to wide angle, so I didn't move at all. And you can see the difference. And you can see the image on the right there. The camera is actually sitting on that metal railing, and again, the idea is to make you feel like you're standing there with me. So it kind of draws you much. If you look at that photo and then you look at the photo on the left, it doesn't necessarily feel as much like you're there enjoying that view. So that's the kind of shot, to try to do that with a panorama and end up with your thing on the right on that little point. It's a very, very difficult thing to do, and it doesn't create that dynamic feel either when you have it on a panorama. So I'll talk just quickly about the difference between a panorama and the wide angle as well. In here, the key benefit too, you know, how often have you been in a restaurant where you're trying to get a photo of everyone, you back up into a wall and there's not enough room. You know, now you've got a wide angle that can capture everyone in, you know, in tight spaces, and really key benefit as well. This was, I don't know if you know, down at Bondi every Friday morning, a bunch of people get dressed up in fluoro gear and they go surfing to raise awareness for mental health issues. This was their 1 year anniversary that happened a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, their 3 anniversary happened a couple of weeks ago. And again, it shows they stood arm in arm and lined all the way down the beach. So you can see here, I didn't set up that shot, they were doing that anyway. You can see on the left here what a standard lens gives you versus what a wide angle. So the wide angle gives you the whole perspective of the entire beach with the sand right down to the end versus the standard. Sorry about that. That's my daughter, my mother, and some popcorn, and a friend's wife. So it's, again, not an award-winning photo, but there to show you the difference between a standard and a wide angle. So I think, you know, the opportunities are limitless. People love taking photos in restaurants of the food they're eating. So with a wide angle, you'll be able to get right in close, and the food will be really, you know, much more dramatic with, you know, people sitting in the background, as opposed to, here's a photo of my food sitting in the restaurant. It's much more interesting. So, and again, so just quickly talking about the panorama before I move on to a couple of the other key features. So there's a few limitations of panorama. One of them is that if you think about the way a panorama works, you start here, you move across, we've all done it, we've all kind of had the wonky hands where we don't get it quite straight. But the other thing a panorama does, it's taking a series of photos and stitching them together with software to make one photo. So when you start over here, it's exposing for whatever's over here. So if I started a panorama over this way where it's really bright, and then took it through here, the whole photo is going to be exposed for the brightness, so you're all going to be too dark, etc. So that's one of the disadvantages of panorama, whereas if I take a wide angle photo now, you'll all be exposed nicely. Another key thing is when there's movement. So as these boats are moving, or if there was waves out there, if I did a panorama, as I'm going around, if the boat moves or the wave moves, that's when you end up with, you know, the waves not quite connecting, etc. Whereas when I take a wide angle photo, it just snaps the scene instantly, and so I get everything that's in the scene right now. People is important too. So when you're trying to take a shot of people, you know that people are sort of moving and etc. So if you try to do wide angle, if I start here, by the time I get across here, you might be looking at your phone or your head's moved, and so I won't be able to get the shot. Whereas wide angle, I go snap, get everyone looking at me, and I get the shot. So there are a lot of reasons wide angle is a really exciting, I think, benefit for the phone. For me in particular, it's really exciting. So just a few other quick little things about the phone that I found interesting. There's 3 modes. So there's a simple mode, which literally I think a lot of people will use, where you don't have to think, you just go press and snap. And the camera does everything. There's an automatic mode where, again, it does everything for you, but you've got a few more options where you can do other things. And then really interestingly for me is the manual mode. So again, as a photographer, if you really want to take control, a bit like, you know, when you drive a manual car, you've got more control than an automatic car. Some people will want to do that, and it enables you to control things like the shutter speed and the ISO. So that is fantastic for things like low light. So the shot I showed you earlier at Avalon Beach, I had it on manual mode, I put it on a tripod, and I could snap away, you know, with a longer exposure, because you can go up to 30 seconds. So that's a really exciting feature for me. The other exciting thing is RAW and JPEG, so you can shoot in both RAW and JPEG. So I found myself walking around, as a tourist would do, just shooting standard JPEGs on standard mode, just snapping away. Then when I saw something special like that sunrise at Avalon, or the guys lining up on the beach, where I might want to print that image later, or have a bit more control in post-processing and have a larger file that I can print large, I change it to RAW. So the phone, I think, is very versatile, no matter what sort of level you're at. Some people will just keep it in standard JPEG, other people will shoot RAW, etc. And the other little thing that I thought was quite cool, I'm not sure if it's a new feature or not, was the voice activation. So coming from an SLR world where the cameras don't have microphones where you can just say, take a photo, and it takes a photo. This one, I could just say LG or cheese and it would take a photo. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, and there's a few cool add-ons which we've just seen in the video, and I'll show you down the back. The 360-degree camera is a little thing that connects to this, and you can take full 3D photos and then scroll around within the photo. I think that's going to be pretty exciting for people. I pulled that out at my son's 30th birthday party the other day, and it became the hero of the entire party. So I think that's a good indication if that's market research. And the final thing is the camera grip, which you can stick in, which gives you a lot more control from a camera point of view and gives you extra battery, which again is going to be great for when you go out for a shoot, but you need a bit of extra battery. So I guess for me, in conclusion, it's really exciting to see that a mobile phone can do that, considering especially I take almost all my photos on the mobile phone, except when I'm doing a few special things. So to me, the fact that it's versatile, it's perfect for me, it's perfect for anyone who's at a more standard level photography. I think it's pretty exciting, and I think the wide angle is not to be underestimated in terms of how exciting that's going to be for people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hursty, very much. Partnership, like I mentioned, so I'd like to call up Julian if I can to say a few words on our partnership. Thanks, Julian.
Thanks, Gina, and LG for having us here today at what is an exciting occasion. The whole Bang & Olufsen team really appreciates being part of what you're doing and the collaboration with the G5 launch and, in fact, LG in general. And most importantly, being part of the Friends collection. Bang & Olufsen is a brand, of course, that you've all heard of, but some of you may know little about. A brand which is rich in history, renowned for style and innovation, but sometimes the performance is a little understated, and that's probably a throwback to our Danish origins. However, this collaboration, I think, is a real acknowledgement from one of the giants of the mobile industry that that performance is something worth looking at. Not many people also know that we're the world's oldest hi-fi manufacturer, still in existence today. From extremely humble origins in the darkest northwest corner of Denmark, where trees literally grow like that, and I was there the other week and they were, with the wind blowing across from the North Sea. And a place where men with beards have been in vogue for hundreds of years as a way of keeping warm. Last year we celebrated 90 years of sound, style and innovation with the release of our Beolab 90 product. In fact, the most advanced and powerful loudspeaker designed for the private home. We appreciate now, more than ever before, that at the other end of the scale, people are listening to music on the go. And they're really small devices, and that provides quite a challenge in acoustics, as I'm sure you're aware. So as a business inspired by the challenge that LG gave us, we're committed to delivering portable, user-friendly devices that are intuitive to use and of high quality. The premise, therefore, for this particular product is a partnership that's quite simple. Customers want quality design, convenience, and intuitive use like the G5 gives, but also enhanced by an experience in sound that's very advanced. With the G5, customers can experience big, accurate Bang & Olufsen signature sound in a small format, giving them a taste of our higher-end products right in their pocket. We're also really pleased with the collaboration that will continue between LG and Bang & Olufsen well into the future in hopefully other phones, but also in the screen technology as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Julian. Pricing and availability. This is probably what you're all here to listen to, namely, I guess. So we're very excited to have Telstra and Optus and Harvey Norman on board for our launch, and you'll be able to buy this particular device and Friends. I'll get through to the Friends in a moment, from Telstra on the 3rd of May, and Optus on the 2nd of May, and our exclusive retail partner Harvey Norman from also the 2nd of May. RRP is $10.99, and Harvey Norman will have pre-sales up from tomorrow with a GWP of the Cam Plus product. All of this is in the pack, by the way, that we'll leave you at the end. Friends, the fantastic Friends. So we're really excited to bring you these 4 Friends. Cam Plus, available in May, $129 retail. The B&O Hi-Fi Plus, available May also, $229 retail. 360 Cam, which was one of my favourites, is $399 retail, available in May. And the Rollybot, which I'm sure you're all very excited to see, is available in June at about $399 also. So very exciting for us to bring you G5 and Friends in the next coming weeks. Please keep your eye out for our marketing campaign. You may or may not see Jason Australia all over the place. We'll be able to announce a bit more on that in the next few weeks. We very much appreciate your time. Please spend some time with us at the back. I want you to, Bruce, if you can just put your hand up for a second. Bruce is the first person I need you to have a look at first. and then we're going to roll them up. Before we do that, we've got an exclusive offer, actually, a special offer for consumers that purchase G5 for the first 6 months. So if you, and we know accidents happen, if you drop this device and break the screen, we'll replace the screen one-off time, free of charge. So again, you'll have this information in your pack. We think this is a nice, unique offer. It's a premium device. We know it's a lot of money to invest in a product. The screen, obviously, as soon as you drop most devices these days, that's how hard, you will do some damage. But the idea of this is to really give customers some peace of mind that the investment is a true one, and we want to back it up because we really do think this is a fantastic product that the Australian public will very much enjoy. Again, thank you very much for your time. You'll all be able to experience G5, by the way. Please spend some time with the beautifully clad fluorescent green shirt people at the back. You will not miss them, I promise. Spend some time with Bruce and the team. If you want to wave, guys, yeah, fantastic. They've got all the questions and all the answers for you. They'll be able to help you. But again, appreciate your time. Fantastic to see you all, and hopefully you have all the day. Thank you very much.